Hello everybody, just having a bit of hot chocolate there because I'm feeling very festive today. It's almost Christmas. Oh, I'm so excited. Now this time of year is my favourite time of year because we get to use glitter, we get to draw all sorts of festive characters, and we're in for a treat today. Now my name is Liz Million. I haven't got £1,000,000, but I have been to Sunderland probably about 1,000,000 times. Been to lots of school and of course to the wonderful Sunderland libraries. Now, the drawings that we are going to do today, we need a pencil, need plenty of paper, A4, A3, I don't mind. Probably need a rubber and some colouring things. I don't mind if you want to use felts or pencil crayons, it's up to you. Now, I'm going to draw you a big Santa very quickly. If you wanted to draw along at the same time, you might want to pause the video because I don't want to spend too long on it, because today we're also going to be drawing with a square. Now, you're probably thinking, what? We're going to be doing a couple of characters like this. If you like the look of those little characters, I suggest you stay tuned. So grab a pencil and I'm going to join you in a minute. Got your pencil. I bet it's not as big as my pencil, but have a little look. What I've done is I have drawn quite a smallish square. Now you're probably thinking, what on earth has that got to do with Santa? It does look like one of his presents though, but on your piece of paper I've got a lot of room under here and I've drawn a little curly cut nose on there. This is going to be his face, so we need to draw a beard around there. So draw that shape on your bit of paper first of all. If you need to pause the video, you can do. Now I'm going to be working with big marker pens today, as usual, my gorgeous expensive pens, and also my crayons, because I do not want to be colouring in a lot of red with my gorgeous pen. Okay, so I'm going to have a look in here. I've got my black crayon, which is always very handy. I've got my peachy colour for my little Santa's rosy cheeks, and I'm just going to get a couple of marker pens. Okay, so we've got that character there. You should have your curly cut on. Now we've got quite a lot of room up here and it'll all become apparent. So I'm going to draw some little eyes looking down. Okay, and as I said before, I'm not going to work too slowly on this, so if you wanted to pause it, you can do. Now he's got two little white sluggy eyebrows there, and we want to give him a little cheesy grin. Hello! Now, Santa has always got a little hat on, but we're going to either draw it on top there, or I'm going to put a little ziggy zaggy like that. And if you've done that in pencil, you could rub that out. Now I'm going to come round here and I'm going to make his beard blow in the breeze like that. And he's going to be going this way. We're going to draw him snowboarding, remember? So he's going to be going in a downward direction. And he's got a little wiggly bit there. Again, if you've got craft stuff at home, if you've got little pom-poms, you could always stick a little pom-pom there. Now, I don't think he needs his glasses, his reading glasses, to go snowboarding. But what we might do is put some ski goggles on him. So, if you wanted to draw some cool shades on him, you can do. Now, I'm going to just come round like that. Now, if you don't want to put that on, you don't have to. I'm just going to put a little bit of elastic on there. I think I've been skiing at Suxworth. It's always good fun, isn't it? Okay, so that's our little character there. I'm going to move my board down so you can see his feet. Now, I want him to be coming down here. So what I would do is I would get my pencil and I would give him a little round body and I would just sketch his arms out. Move my gorgeous tinsel. Isn't everything at Christmas just gorgeous? It's all glittery. Do you like my glittery eyeshadow, by the way? I thought you might. Now, all the boys shout, no! No, he's going to have his little legs like that, but I'm not worried about that yet. So, he's going to come along here and you're going to chop his arm off like that. Then, we're going to put some little fake furry gloves and put a little mitten on. Now, hands are hard to draw, so mittens are a lot easier. And if you wanted to make it look like he's delivering presents, or you could maybe draw a little present in his hand, because I haven't got a lot of space there. You could always do a present. You could always do, it could be holding a card or an envelope. It could be holding, I don't know, it could be holding anything, couldn't it? But something Christmassy anyway. Okay, so we've got a little sack there. And if you're worried about drawing that same arm again, you know what I like to do, don't you? What I do is I can just about see through there. I'm not sure you can at home. What I would do is I would pop that was pencil, I'd pop it on there and scribble over there. And then when you take it off, you can see it. Now, I can't do that because I've got quite thick paper today. But what I can do is I could put it underneath and trace it. And you end up the same length arm. There we go. So that's a top tip for you. You could do it with his little legs as well, because nothing worse at school when you're drawing arms and legs and one is fat and one is thin. It's just your naughty brain. Now, he could have a little sort of ski suit on. I think I'm going to stick with his little traditional belt. Now, if I've got a big bit to do, I get my big black pen. Okay, and this black pen here, oh look how big that is. That saves me colouring in. So if you've got a little tiny fine liner, maybe swap it to a bigger felt tip, because it's nothing worse than ruining your fine liner, is there? So I'm going to come round here. Might keep this big pen actually, it seems to be nice and black. And you could put snowboarding boots on him, or you could just put his little normal boots. Boots are quite tricky. If he was a pixie, he'd have boots that went right round, wouldn't he? So at the moment he looks like he's just sort of slipping over a little bit. And I'm going to put snowboard on like that. Now that's a little bit tricky, but looks a bit like an ironing board, doesn't it? And I know in real life they've got special like clamps that go up your legs and onto your board, bindings they're called. My husband snowboards, so I know all about everything to do with snowboarding equipment. And I know for a fact he would need a helmet as well. So if you wanted to be quite safety conscious about this, you could always just put a little snowboard helmet on, okay, if you really wanted to. But we're doing a cartoony character today. Now, oh look, I think we're going to put a Sunderland football top on him, just because we are doing a lovely virtual video today for Sunderland Libraries. There we go. Now this is a really lovely strip. I don't know if the stripes go that way, but I think I'll put stripes going that way. I'm probably totally wrong. I think they're actually plain or red, so I'm going to just colour in. Now, I said to you, didn't I didn't want to colour in and run my felt tip out, and look, it's already running out, which is very naff. So I'm going to get my crayon and scribble over it like this. And you could go wild. You could give him black or red or green. Just think of all those lovely Christmassy colours you could do for poor little Santa. He's having a brilliant time. And if you wanted to, while you've got your red, come up here. Again, if you've got your craft stuff, you could put glitter on. You can even get a bit of tinsel and whack that on your picture. You could also draw this straight onto card and fold it up. Now, I've got a lovely bogey green. And my bogey green, just because it's a nice sort of green, it's not a very big crayon, so I'm trying not to drop it. It's very titchy tiny. It's because I've been using it quite a lot for Wicked Witch's face and Monsters and Frankensteins. And I think I would get my black crayon, which is hiding here. And you could always put Merry Christmas on there. You can put your family name on there, because obviously Santa is delivering the presents. Now we have our gorgeous character. We need to think about those action lines. Don't put them near his bot. That is not good luck. Now, here we are going to put a bit of background on now. I've just got a crayon here. It's not bothering me. So I'm going to move my board up a bit. And you could draw little Christmassy fir trees. And if they've got snow on, they would be white. If you want to mix them up a bit, you could put a bit of snow on the top there. And then get a lovely bright green. Have I got a forest green? It's like a very dark green. So look, the snow is on the top of the tree. And then you're going to have loads of time to do this if you wanted to. You could put the odd light, twinkly light or tinsel or whatever. So this is how Santa is delivering his presents this year. And you could also maybe put some houses in the background or some trees or something like that. And there he is. So at the bottom of it, if you wanted to write Merry Christmas, I've got some gorgeous pens. I think I might get a nice, I'm trying to find a nice sort of colour. I don't really want to do red. So I've got, this green's quite nice. So I always think you say Happy Birthday and Merry Christmas, don't you? Some people say Happy Christmas. I quite like that, but I think Merry is really Christmassy. I was thinking I'd spelt it wrong then. Imagine that. Okay, Merry Christmas. And I'm going to put my name on as well. There we go. Okay, so we have a fantastic snowboarding Santa. Now, we are going to go small now. So I'm going to go and get my small paper ready and I'm going to see you in a minute. Now, I do like drawing big, just like that Santa, but I love drawing at my desk. Now, it's all very Christmassy, isn't it? Now, I'm going to just get all my pens here. I'm just going to shove them out the way a little bit. So I've got all my marker pens and pencils. I've got my fine liner drawing pens. Oh, look at that. Now, this is the perils of having a young dog. Now, Peggy, my dog, has chewed my favourite pencil. Oh, she's going to get it. She's so naughty. Anyway, luckily, I have about 12,000 more pencils. So here we go with our piece of toast again. And it's sort of like a bit of a square, a bit rectangular. And this time we are going to have to draw a little elf character. So I'm going to put some pointy ears on like that. Now I'm quite confident. I'm going to get my thin fine liner and just swap it. Now you can just keep on going with that pencil, and then at the end, if you're happy, you can go around it with your fine liner or black felt, or just leave it. I like pencil. Okay, I've done a nice cheesy grin there because elves this time of year are so excited, aren't they? And I'm going to draw him looking down. Excuse my hands, by the way, I've always got pen all over them. I don't have like very glamorous looking hands, but I don't care because my hands are clever at what they do. Okay, so he's got his little pointy ears. If you wanted to round that off a little bit, if you think that square looks a little bit weird, you can always round it off a bit and give him a little chin. Oh, he's turning out to be really cute. So I'm going to move my page down a little bit so I can get to his little hat. Now, elf hats, you can draw different types of elf hats. I quite like the ones that go like in a sort of gestury way with a little zigzag. So that's quite cute. I quite like the Santa-y ones with the zigzag on. That's very elfy, isn't it? So I think I might just, I might try something different. I think I'm going to do with the sort of gestury one. You can do whichever one you want, because when you do arts and crafts, you can just muck about and see what you like. Now, my little elf, I'm going to stop there and put a little bit of hair on. That looks a little bit weird, but it'll be fine when we put colour on. And he's obviously got a little bit of hair there. Okay, so I'll let you catch up a little bit. I might do some different colours in different parts like this. And there's nothing better on a nice cold wintry day than just sitting with a nice cup of hot chocolate, just drawing. And you know what, you could turn these into beautiful cards for people. You could also maybe, we could maybe do a little sign, couldn't we? See, the thing is, I wasn't planning on doing this, but actually it would be quite good. So look, it's got little sausages. And the good thing about this video is you can pause it if I'm going too fast, which I always end up going fast. So I've done 4 sausages and 4 sausages. And if you want to draw a sign like that, you can do. So I'm quite glad we rounded those edges there. You could do little fingernails, but I don't think that's really important. So if you wanted to, you could decorate this. You could put bits of holly places. You could put them in a wreath. You could do whatever you like. So I'm going to put my lid on because I'm a good girl. Don't leave your lids off. And I've just got all different sorts of colours here. And I'm going to write in here. Are you probably best off doing that in pencil first, because you might run out of space. Now, I have been doing murals and artwork for hundreds of years, so I know about space and how to leave certain bits. Now, I'm not gonna sit and colour all this in. It's just to give you an idea of the colours I might use. So everything sort of Christmassy, it's always like greens and golds and reds, and it's a lovely time of year. And it's so nice to make stuff to give to people, isn't it? Because you think about all the people that would love to get one of these pictures off you, and you can always turn it into a card if you stick your picture on some thick cards. There we've got a bit of green. You could also do this bit green as well. And you'll notice that I'm not doing my best colouring, I'm afraid. I know, I'm sorry. But it is quite neat still, and I've been an illustrator for a long time, so I'm quite well practiced. Now I might do an orange, oh no, I might do a red. So I love glitter, and I tend to use glitter all year round. I'm not just like a seasonal glitter user. I use glitter on all sorts of things. It's just so cheering. I know when your grown-ups see you getting the glitter out at home with your little crafty art packs, they're like, no, because they get it in their hair and on their faces and the belly buttons. It just goes everywhere, doesn't it? So you can see that I'm putting a bit of colour on here, and you might have a bit of red there. So it's all red and green like holly berries and Christmas trees. Now you might get to this point and think about his face colour. So if you wanted to put a nice face colour, everyone is different colours. So I normally just put some little rosy cheeks, and these are just crayons that you get. And I'm just going to put a little bit of colour on his face, just like I did with Santa. And again, we always have little rosy cheeks. Colour in your sausages, and you can also make this gorgeous and gold. And I think for his hair, I've got a really nice sort of orangey colour here. So I've got a little gingery elf, cute. And once I've done that, I'll go around it a little bit more. Okay, so then you could get your rubber and rub that out. And then I'm going to get my Pritt stick. Okay, now my Pritt stick, I'm just going to put a blob on there, a blob on here, a blob on there, and I might do a little blob on his little buttons there, and we'll see what happens. Now, I always put glitter far away from my hand because I'm so clumsy and I tend to knock everything over, including my hot chocolate, which is why it's on the other side of my studio. So here we go. We've got our little elf, and I'm just going to very gently sprinkle it on. Now you can see it hasn't got a lid on. Oh, this is not a good idea. Oh, look. Now I'm going to move it down. Look, can you see I've put a bit of, I've put a bit of paper underneath, and then I'm just going to tap it like that. And then with that glitter, I'm going to move that over. I'm going to put it back later on. Okay, so look at that. That is looking gorgeous. Now the next one we're going to do, I found a candy cane, which I'm going to eat after this. Oh, I'm going to kill that peggy. Honestly, every pencil I pick up. Right. Oh, do you know what? She eats my crayons, which really annoys me, because I might have like a gorgeous, like vibrant green, and I'll go and use it and I'll find it on the floor in bits. Oh, but she's so cute. You can't help but just love her. Okay, so we've got a little hat on here. Now this character, we're going to do a little curly cut, and then I'm going to get my orange. You could do this with crayon. Can you see I'm making it actually bigger than his piece of toast? There we go. And you can tell this is not a dog. It is indeed a snowman. So I'm going to get my fine liner like that and put some little lines on. Here we go. Now, it's up to you. You could always stick goggly eyes on if you wanted to do a really like 3D one. Now, I want to do a really, really cute one. Okay, so I'm going to do big eyes looking up. Now, our Santa just had normal eyes, but look, if I put 2 little circles in there, you can see his eyes all shiny and bright. Like that. If you want to do a girl, you could put little eyelashes on. And I'm going to put some friendly eyebrows on. Just move my light. I love disco lights, don't you? Now, I know that snowmen have mouths like little rocks or little lumps of coal. I think they're a little bit weird. Now, have a little look. If my snowman was really sad, he'd be like, no. He was really excited. He's going to a snowball. Ha ha. I think, oh, I like that one actually. Oh, I might just make him really cute. So I'm going to put a little smile on there. Oh, he's nice. Now I'm going to put rosy cheek on. You can always do another rosy cheek there, but I don't think I need it. And then you could just go crackers with your designs. Now I love designing clothes, especially for wintry characters like this. Remember, you don't need to do red or green because you did it on the other one. You could just get all different colours. And look, I'm going to get my pencil crayons. I've got a lovely yellow here. It's earwax yellow. Nice. Earwax yellow. And you can go crackers with that. Okay, now I'm going to do a little body for him. So just before I do that, I'm going to practice my body. So instead of just ruining it, because I'm not sure if I don't think I want to do a square. Oh, actually, that's quite sweet, isn't it? Because normally I would do a big circle, or some of you would do 2 circles. I quite like that little square. So I'm going to get my pencil. It hasn't been chewed by Peggy. And I think I'm just going to make him have little boots actually. And put a bit of movement on. I'm going to maybe put him like this. La 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 la. Oh, we could do him skating, couldn't we? Because we did Santa doing snowboarding. And I think I'm going to put a little scarf on here, like that. Okay, if I'm going too fast, just stop the video. Put some little coal on there. You could put a gorgeous jumper on there, in fact, couldn't you? Okay, I'm not going to spend too long on my scarf. You've got all the time in the world, though. So don't you be rushing. You've got no excuse. And I would also do matching everything. So you might have like a grown-up, like a snowman granny that's made him all these knitted things. You can see I am going so fast. And then I might put some little wellies on there. It's tempting to put little black wellies on to make him traditional. I think because he's just such a white character, it's nice to put him in really like gorgeous colours. And then when I'm happy with that, I get my black and I go around. Now again, you can maybe make it a little bit rounder, but I'm going to go round like that. And if you've seen any of my tutorials before, you'll know that we put action lines on. So my little character, if he was ice skating, he would have little skates like that. And you can do clouds. Now don't put clouds near his bottom. There we go. So we're adding a bit of movement like we did with Santa. Okay, I'm going to come around the top. And I draw so much better when I'm not sitting at my desk. Do we want to put some little twigs for hair in? Do you think that looks weird? Oh, I quite like that. That's a bit unusual. So some kids who've made him have stuck little twigs in his hair. And again, I've done quite a lot of boys today. I'm going to make this into a girl. There we go. I really like that. And you don't need to go around your nose if you don't think you need to. If you wanted to cut out a bit of orange card, or even just colour a bit of carrot and cut it out, you could stick that on, make it into 3D, couldn't you? And I might just open that mouth there. Now we're going to put a little bit of background on. And we're going to do a little like that. Again, you could put Christmas trees on, you could put a little Happy Christmas up here, you could put a little speech bubble on with Merry Christmas. You can go wild, and you're very creative, so have a little go. You could really make this a lot more gorgeous than I am just now. And again, you can get your glitter out and have another go at that. There we have it. Now, how did you do? Did you do better than you thought you were going to do? I hope so, because you know what? Drawing is quite tricky to do, and it takes a lot of practice to get where I am today. And I've been an illustrator for 23 years, which is a long time. So if you want to get better at drawing, you need to practice, but you also need to enjoy it as well. So hopefully you've enjoyed yourself today. I have had a wonderful time with you, a lovely virtual video for Sunderland Libraries, and hopefully we'll all be back in there borrowing books, enjoying ourselves soon. Now I am going to tidy up all my beautiful glitter before it gets all over the floor and in my eyes. Oh, I've got some on my eyes, but not in my eyes. And I'm going to go and finish my lovely hot chocolate as well. Okay, boys and girls, have a lovely Christmas and enjoy yourselves. Bye.